Why do big blockbuster movies that don't try get tons of money? We've all seen it time and time again. Everyone keeps talking about Transformers. It's the same movie over and over and over and over, and it's terrible. The first one was good, the second one was bad, and then it's been all downhill from there. But then if that's the case, and we all know that it's not trying and it hasn't done anything new, then why does it still make tons of money? The Emoji Movie made $159 million at the box office compared to a budget of just $50 million. It made a ton of money. And the box office has been a big trouble this summer. It's been doing terribly with movies. There was no movies this Labor Day weekend. The first time that's happened in over, I think a century, what they said. So then why do the movies that don't try and are considered bad get money? Well, that answer is just simply, there's no beating around the bush here. It's just simply because of advertising. We give it a lot of publicity. That's the second thing. The first thing is, it's advertising. Movies that are bad, and we all know they do something with their trailers to try to make it seem interesting. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't make that much money, so I'm not talking about that here, even though that's a perfect example of it. What I will talk about is something like Transformers, a movie that we've all seen a million times before, but the fifth one still made money. Not as much as the fourth one, but it made money. Why? Because it's advertising.
It started as a legend. One of the greatest of all. 1,000 years we've kept it hidden. To protect Earth from what was destined to arrive.
Optimus Prime, you destroyed your home. Do you seek redemption?
My maker, I do.
Your daughter, what would you say to her?
Brush your teeth, work hard. Stay away from any boy in a band, especially a drummer.
These are troubled times. Without leaders, chaos reigns. Two worlds colliding. You're all that stand in its way. Now the greatest mission of them all, to turn the tide of human history. Can't do this! The imminent destruction of everything we know and love begins.
I'm not leaving you. When all seems lost, a few brave souls can save everything we've ever known.
The operation is over.
We're not giving up on Prime, okay?
I want to stay, and I want to fight them.
For my world to live, yours must die.
That's kind of a small part of it, advertising that they can make the movie look good. Batman and Robin had actually acceptable trailers and stuff if you look back on it, and I've seen fan-made trailers that make it look good.
My name is Freeze. Learn it well. Prepare for a bitter harvest. Winter has come at last.
PC.
I found the Batcave.
She knows who we are.
She'll just have to kill her.
Yep, we'll kill her later. We have work to do.
If I must suffer, humanity will suffer with me. I will blanket the city in endless winter.
What is Batman, if not an effort to master the chaos that sweeps our world? An attempt to control death itself?
But I can't, can I?
None of us can.
I will pull Batman's heart and body and feel his knees in the hands.
Partners?
Partners. Partners.
Their bones will turn to eyes. I got him. Robin, no! I've come to make your life a living hell.
But we all know it's not good. But advertising can change things. It can make things look like it's something when it's really not that thing. But it still looks like it because of what you're being shown. But that is kind of a small part of it. The big answer here is the publicity that we give it. Something like Rotten Tomatoes or websites like this, while yes, just by, like, the movies that are bad get the most attention. Like, I keep bringing it back, but Transformers, that gets reviewed every single time and is bashed on a lot, but it still makes money. Why? Because we're talking about it. You don't hear people talking about 47 Meters Down. You don't hear people talking about smaller movies that are successful. No, they're talking about the big blockbusters that a lot of people don't like. The Emoji Movie made a lot of money at the box office despite being the worst movie I saw this summer. This summer has been kind of a disappointment. Now, there have been a few exceptions, Wonder Woman and Spider-Man, the big two, but that's just the thing. The only movies that are pulling in big profits are superhero movies, and a lot of people think those aren't trying anything different either. But at least they're continuing the story. The movies that we give publicity to, think about what you've heard the most of. What have you heard people talk about movies the most? A lot of people complain about movies. You look at most reviewers' channels, like 90% of them are bad movies. And those are the ones we go see because those are the big ones. Nobody's going to want to watch a movie about something they never heard of before. Or nobody's going to want to watch a YouTube video about a movie that they haven't heard before. That's why people go for the big blockbusters. The YouTubers go for big blockbusters and bigger movies that people know and recognize from advertising and things like that, and its title and what it's about, because they saw YouTubers review it. YouTubers, nowadays especially, back before in the 90s, but basically before the internet really started, you couldn't really tell which movie was going to be good or not. It was all in the advertising, which brings me back to that. But, so it was just kind of word of mouth. And now we get a word of mouth not only through how we did back then, but also through the internet. You can look up a movie in 5 seconds and know if people think it's good or bad. Now sure, I have movies that people think are bad that I like, and I don't like movies that some people think are good. So we're not ever gonna always agree, but you can still hear what other people think of it. If you hear someone say, oh, this is like the best movie this year, then you're gonna want to go see it, especially if you're interested in that topic. But if you're not, and you don't hear anyone say, man, what a great movie that Pete's Dragon was, or, man, I sure loved the movie that no one has ever talked about, just put in a movie there that's not very popular, but you like, man, I sure did like that movie. Man, sure, that looks pretty interesting. That's something that we go by, but then other people have realized that advertising isn't always the answer. And people are getting a lot more reluctant on spending. Back then anyway, in the 80s and 90s, the movie tickets were not as expensive. But nowadays, they're almost $8 for one ticket. Sure, that's like the normal, and the kids are a little bit less, and the adults and the elderly's a little bit more. but it's roughly $7.95 is like the average movie ticket. You have that, I mean, heck, even one person, that's, you know, but you had two people there, like a husband or wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, and then you had kids. If you have a 4-person family, basically $8 per ticket. That's a lot of money to go see a movie that might not even be good. You want to make sure you see a good movie, so you look it up online. Which movies do other people like, and what should we go see? It's more and more getting dependent on what other people think of the movies and what people go spend money on. Because it doesn't matter if you think the movie was good or not. If you think the movie was good or not, and a lot of people don't think it was good, even that's not going to matter. But if some people think, if nobody goes to go see it and review it, and nobody wants to go see it from its trailer, but you like it and it's a good movie, they're not going to make a sequel because it didn't make money. Star Trek Beyond was by far better than Star Trek Into Darkness. But you know which one was more popular at the time? Star Trek Into Darkness. Why? Because it was just coming off of the first Star Trek, and it was a really big, hyped movie. But then we all saw it, and we're like, oh, it's basically just Star Trek 2. So when Star Trek Beyond came out, less people went to go see it, and it made less money. It was better, but it still made less money. The answer to today's question is because we give it attention. But movies that we don't give attention to don't make as much money, but are way better, and have way more effort put in. But see, we don't give it attention. We don't talk about it. YouTubers and people that pass it along, we want to stay popular. We want to go see the things that other people are seeing. And a lot of times those other people that are seeing are being popular with YouTubers or different reviewers that they watch. But if the movie is popular, even if you're not interested in it in the least, you're going to go see it because you want to be able to talk about whatever this movie is that everyone keeps talking about. So that's the answer. Comment down below about what you guys think of what my conclusion, if you would have a different conclusion, and comment down below how your day was. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.